Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever stopped to think about how much your environment shapes what you think and how you act? This might not cross your mind on a daily basis, but the truth is that the environment has a huge influence over us. Joe Dispenza often talks about how our surroundings affect our minds, and once you understand this, you realize that your environment may even be controlling your thoughts without you noticing. Think about how you wake up every day and carry out the same activities, as if on autopilot. You get up, have coffee, follow the same route to work or school, and throughout the day, repeat actions you've been doing for years. This routine is heavily influenced by the environment around you, the place you live, the people you're with, and even the objects around you. Your brain is constantly recording this information, and over time, it shapes your thought patterns. Joe Dispenza mentioned something very interesting. If your brain is organized to reflect everything you know about your life, then it becomes a record of your environment. This means that the way you think, act, and even feel is often a direct reflection of the environment you live in. Let's think about this in simple terms. If you spend most of your time in a messy, disorganized place, surrounded by negative people, it's likely your mind will mirror that disorder. You may feel like your thoughts are cluttered, like you're stuck in negative patterns, and often you don't even realize where it's coming from. But in reality, your environment is feeding these thought patterns. Now, if you spend time in a calm, organized place, surrounded by supportive, encouraging people, do you notice how that completely changes your energy and thoughts? Your mind becomes calmer, more focused, and you begin to notice that your behavior shifts as well. The problem is that most of the time, we're so immersed in our environment that we don't see the impact it has on us. We get so used to our routine, to the people around us, and the places we go, that we accept these influences as normal. And by doing so, we end up going along with the energy of the environment without even realizing we have the power to change it. Joe Dispenza presents a powerful thought. If your environment is shaping who you are, isn't it time to take control? Are you living according to what you want, or merely reacting to the environment around you? Asking this question helps you understand just how possible it is to take charge of your life by changing your surroundings and, consequently, the way you think. The good news is that you have the power to alter this dynamic. This doesn't mean you have to move, change jobs, or cut all your friends at once, though sometimes drastic changes might be necessary. What's most important is understanding that you can create an internal environment that is stronger than the external one. When you learn to control your thoughts and tune into what you truly want for your life, the environment around you loses the power it once had over you. On this journey to self-awareness, you start to realize that while the environment plays a role, it doesn't have to determine your destiny. You can free yourself from the limitations imposed by your surroundings and create a new reality for yourself. In the following sections, we'll explore simple practices to help you begin transforming the way you live and think. Ready to start taking control of your mind? In the next sections, let's explore how to make this possible. Now that you understand how the environment can control your mind, it's important to learn to identify its impact on your life more consciously. Often, we're so caught up in our routines that we don't realize how much the environment around us shapes our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Joe Dispenza reminds us that the environment we live in can be a direct reflection of how we think and feel, and likewise, our minds are influenced by everything around us. Let's start by observing the physical environment. Think about the spaces where you spend most of your time, your home, your office, and the places you frequent. How do these environments make you feel? Is there order and organization, or chaos and clutter? Your physical space reflects your mindset and contributes to your emotional state. If you're constantly in a messy or uncomfortable space, your mind absorbs this disorder, which can show up as scattered thoughts, lack of focus, and even stress. The physical environment impacts your energy and consequently the way you think. Now consider the people you interact with. The social environment is one of the most powerful factors that shape our mental state. When we're surrounded by people with negative attitudes, who constantly complain or see the downside of everything, this energy affects us, even in subtle ways. The conversations you have daily shape your beliefs and worldview, often without you even realizing it. If you're constantly exposed to negative or pessimistic dialogue, Your mind begins to mirror that environment, and over time, your thoughts begin to follow the same pattern. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who inspire you, who talk about opportunities, growth, and possibilities, your mindset also shifts. Being in positive social settings makes you feel energized, motivated, and ready to pursue your goals. Joe Dispenza explains that our minds are like sponges. They absorb the energies and vibrations around us, shaping our thinking and behavior patterns based on these influences. Besides the physical and social environment, we also need to consider the impact of the digital environment. With the constant presence of social media and the internet in our lives, we often underestimate the power this virtual environment has over our minds. Spending hours consuming negative content, engaging in polarizing discussions, or even comparing your life to others on social media has a direct impact on your mindset. The digital environment shapes your emotions, desires, and even expectations for life. This digital environment can be a major enemy of mental clarity. Constant exposure to negative or shallow information creates an emotional and mental overload, generating feelings of dissatisfaction or even discouragement. Joe Dispenza emphasizes the need to become more conscious of what we consume digitally, as it has become an extension of the physical environment we inhabit. It's interesting to notice how often we don't question the impact of the environment on us. We accept routines, the places we go, and the people we interact with as an inevitable part of life. However, when you become more aware of this impact, you begin to realize that the environment has the power to shape your thoughts, but you have the power to change the environment. This doesn't mean making drastic changes, but rather adjusting your perception and choices to create an environment that supports your thoughts and well-being. The way your mind processes the environment around you is a cycle. The environment shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts influence how you interact with the environment. If you're constantly in an environment that suppresses your creativity, drains your energy, or brings more stress than tranquility, it's natural for your mind to shift into survival mode rather than growth mode. Joe Dispenza's reflection prompts us to ask, to what extent are we products of our environment? And more importantly, to what extent can we reverse this influence to shape the environment according to what we want for our lives? Realizing that the environment has such a significant impact on us is the first step in taking control. When you become aware of how the environment is influencing your mind, you gain the ability to make different choices, surrounding yourself with stimuli that reinforce your purpose instead of distracting you from it. In essence, identifying how the environment shapes your thoughts opens the door to deep transformation. With this awareness, you can start changing what surrounds you so that your thoughts, and consequently your life, begin to reflect the clarity, focus, and intention you wish to achieve. Now that you understand how the environment influences your thoughts and emotions, it's time to start changing this dynamic. Joe Dispenza shows us that by consciously creating an environment that supports your growth and mental health, you begin to take control of your life. When your environment reflects order, clarity, and purpose, your mind follows the same path, and that is transformative. Think about your physical environment. How does it reflect who you are and who you want to become? Look around your home, workspace, or the place where you spend most of your time. If your space is disorganized, filled with things you no longer use, or lacks structure, it directly affects your mind. The clutter around you can create an internal sense of chaos, scattering your thoughts and making it difficult to focus. The space where you live or work should be a reflection of the clarity you want to achieve. When everything is in its place and each detail has harmony and purpose, your mind also starts to mirror that harmony. The physical environment is a reflection of your internal energy. When you organize and take care of the place where you live, you automatically start noticing a shift in your mental state. Simply creating a space that inspires order and tranquility already transforms your way of thinking. Additionally, the social environment also plays a crucial role in how you think and act. The people you surround yourself with have a huge influence on your emotional and mental state. If you're surrounded by negative people who are always complaining or seeing the bad side of things, that energy seeps into your own mindset. You absorb it even if you don't realize it. Conversely, when you are in a social environment with people who motivate you, who challenge you to be better, and who support you, your mind starts working differently. The social environment can either be a catalyst for growth or a brake on your progress. It's essential to recognize this. When you surround yourself with people who share the same values, who are focused on evolving and growing, you're inspired to do the same. Joe Dispenza discusses how group energy influences our own energy. If you're in a room full of people with the same intention, the collective energy amplifies. This means that when you align with people who have a growth mindset and are striving for something greater, your own mind elevates. Your vibration aligns with the group's vibration, and you start to think and act according to this new energy. Another often overlooked area that has a profound impact is the digital environment. With the constant presence of social media and the internet in our lives, we're immersed in a virtual environment that also shapes our minds. What you consume digitally directly affects your worldview and thoughts. If you're constantly exposed to negative news, conflicts, and comparisons, your mind begins to mirror that chaotic virtual environment. This digital environment creates an overload of information and emotions that can block mental clarity. Consuming content that drags you down, makes you anxious, or insecure shapes how you see yourself and the world around you. It's important to realize that the digital environment you engage in has the same impact as the physical environment. It can either support your growth or undermine it. Over time, continuous exposure to negative or limiting environments, whether physical, social, or digital, ends up creating automatic mental patterns. Your brain adapts to the environment you're immersed in, and gradually you begin to think in limited ways, focusing more on problems than solutions. Joe Dispenza suggests that you become more aware of these influences and actively create an environment that supports your personal growth. Engaging with environments that elevate your energy allows your mind to expand to new horizons. Your environment becomes a tool to help you grow rather than holding you back. This transformation is essential for living in a state of mental clarity and focus. You don't need to be a hostage to the environment around you, whether physical or social. It's possible to take control and transform how you interact with the world by adjusting the environment you live in. In summary, the key to unlocking your mind's potential is directly connected to the environment you are in. When you begin to create a physical and social space that reflects your values and goals, your mind responds powerfully. Joe Dispenza reminds us that while the external environment can influence our thoughts, once we become aware of this, we can transform our environment and thus our reality.